Hello, this is Dixie Cravens introducing you to my addition to the Lego ad campaign, and I am on the last page, and I have recorded this so many times that I'm just going to go to the beginning. So to get you in the right frame of mind thinking about Legos, I have this quote by Thomas Edison. He said, "To invent, you need a good imagination and a pile of stuff." And if you've ever played with Legos, you know that that's exactly what they are. They are a pile of stuff. This is the ad campaign that Lego put together. They're focusing on healthy foods that are appealing to children, I think, although I'm questioning some of their choices. But what I like about this campaign is that it's very clean and simple. And I also think that it's very apparent that this campaign is focused on the adults who would be purchasing these toys and not so much the children, although there's plenty of appeal here. If you look at the font that they've used for Pure Brain Food, it's very interesting that it's very rounded, it's modern and playful. It's a sans serif, but it's still very sophisticated, and so it really lends to this idea that toys can be sophisticated and appeal to adults as well. This is the fourth ad in that campaign, and this is the one that made me realize that this is definitely geared towards adults, because what it looks like is a pile of green stuff with an egg on top, and I don't know any children who would think that looks yummy, but I know a lot of adults who would think that looks healthy. So the design elements that I am focusing on are how it's centered on the page. There's a rule of thirds, and I will show that to you quickly just so you can see it. There's a kind of a grid here that this high contrast area is in the center, and then you have a balance of the logo and the text. You have a lot of white space. You have simple shapes, the round plate, the square logo, a very simple message, and then high contrast. And that contrast really helps all of these elements kind of pop off of the page. And so you really only have 3 elements here, but they really grab your attention because of that contrast. And the last thing I wanted to point out is with this center line here, they aligned the text to that center line, and I thought that was very intriguing, and I really liked the way that they did that. And the other thing that I wanted to point out is I think that leaving all of this white space really helps the viewer connect with the ad, because it leaves space for them to have their imagination come into play. As adults, we would be looking at this ad and thinking, I know what I'm making for dinner. Who knows what children are thinking. This is my ad. I added an apple to the ad campaign. I followed the same design principles and style. I centered that apple on the round plate. I have a very white background. I kept the same Pure Brain Food message and the same logo. And I had a humorous thought that what they're trying to portray here is these toys are clean and simple, and so will your child's room be. But we all know that is not true. And so here's my comparison that shows how my ad does fit in with the campaign. It follows the same design principles and style of being centered, that rule of thirds, a lot of white space, sorry, simple messages and simple shapes, and that same high contrast. And in fact, I was surprised that they didn't have fruit in the campaign until I tried to make round fruit with square blocks, and then I realized that, yeah, that was a really difficult thing to do. In conclusion, I have this thought by Lego that the urge to create is equally strong in all children, boys and girls. It's imagination that counts, not skill. You build whatever comes into your head the way you want it. The most important thing is to put the right material in their hands and let them create whatever appeals to them. And that is exactly why I have a house full of Legos. They love to play with them, and they come up with the most interesting creations. I just wanted to say I enjoyed this class so much. I enjoyed watching all of you create and seeing the projects that you came up with, and I enjoyed the interaction with you and commenting and helping each other along. Thank you, and have a Merry Christmas.